I want to talk about when people say, just put yourself out there, you know what I mean? A lot of times where in the incel community or the black pill community or even the red pill community, right? They tell men who are lonely and who want to find a significant other or want to find some friends, like, oh, bro, just put yourself out there and just go out there and make some friends. But that could be a really dangerous thing to do. Putting yourself out there in a world full of chaos, cruelty, scammers, rapists, murderers is not really a good idea. I mean, one person can ruin your entire life and put you back in emotional distress and put you back in such ways that you can't even imagine. You know, people can give you drugs, put you through some bullshit. You can make a lot of enemies if you go out there and deal with people, man. When I put myself out there, I make a lot of enemies. I get a lot of haters. The thing is, run into a lot of problems dealing with people, man. It's just not really good to put yourself out there. There's a lot of just weird people out there, a lot of weird dudes. You could be the most masculine man on the planet, right? Buff, strong, everything. And some creep can be looking at your ass while you walk in public and say and have intentions and have thoughts and have a desire to open your ass up and just rape you on the spot. There's people out there like that. A lot of times these women out here, they're all prostitutes. They're only selling. Their coochies is for sale. You want to have a loving fairy tale fantasy girlfriend. You're not gonna find that. You're just gonna run into a bunch of prostitutes. Women saying, "Hey, buy my OnlyFans. Hey, you want to talk to me? Cash at me. Call me goddess. Worship me. Pay for my bills. All this stuff. You can't find no true love, genuine connection, Disneyland fairy tale romance out here, man. It's just a waste of time. Honestly, being alone is just much better because I know it sucks. You're an incel. You are friendless. You're a reject and you just want to put yourself out there and you're lonely, you want to go make friends, but then you put yourself out there, you run into a lot of problems. There's a lot of bad people out here, a lot of parasitic people out here that will drain you and take your resources. They will lie to you, they will cheat on you, they will steal from you, and then you will just run into a bunch of enemies. And especially if you're a person who is different and goes against social norms, you're going to run into a lot of issues with people. Like, not everyone who just comes into your life and takes interest in you really has good intentions for you. Some people just want to bring you down. There's a lot of parasitic people out here that will attach to you and then leech off you and then just bring you down into pathways that you just never expected. One thing I do like about being alone and being in isolation is that there's only a clear path ahead. There's no distractions in my way. When I was out there and stuff, I couldn't really focus on myself because I had this person, that person asking me for favors, asking me, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to do this? Now that you're by yourself, you can do anything you want. You know what I'm saying? There is no limits. That's what it is.